Marvel. Pum. Hey man with Youthid man. Now I am in glasses, yeah. And so today we will talk about Marvel. That fact that I have watched all the Marvel movies that is in Marvel Cinematic Universe. I have started watching Marvel in a very young age, but not exactly MCU. It was X-Men movies and Spider-Man Sam Raimi. And from the age of, I guess, 8 or 9 years old, I was into such Marvel superheroes as Spider-Man, Wolverine, Cyclops, Hulk, maybe Captain America. I don't really remember what else despite Spider-Man I was into. But at those years I don't really watch every superhero movie. I watched something from time to time, but not really was involved in Marvel cinematic development of movies that releases that came out. I don't exactly was into it, but I have become a real fan of Marvel movies 10 years ago, exactly in March 2016, when new trailer for Captain America Civil War was released, and there was Spider-Man. I remember that in time where this trailer was released, there was so much hype around it in the internet, and everybody was talking about how Spider-Man looks, how it lands on a car. Is that was a car? I don't really sure. Who is playing Spider-Man? And I am as a Spider-Man fan from the childhood. In this day I heard about Spider-Man appearance in a new Marvel movie. And at those times I wasn't completely involved, as I already said, in all releases of Marvel movies. I watched some things from first Avengers movie, then maybe second movie some things also, but not whole movie. I don't know why I didn't watch movies completely at those times, but I didn't. And so when Spider-Man appears in new trailer for Marvel Cinematic Universe movie, I watched it and I loved it. And then I started preparing for the release of this movie. I started watching every movie that Marvel released at those times that lay down all the ground for the plot of a new movie where Spider-Man is appearing. And I was completely shocked watching all the Marvel movies and diving into all the lore that it contains, like Thor's mythical world, Iron Man's movies, Captain America movies, and all this war type of thing, detective movies that also movies. Of course, Guardians of the Galaxy, and finally I watched the Avengers movies completely, and I was completely shocked with all the scale of action of and character and all characters' chemistry. I hope that I said that right. And of course I watched Ant-Man, The Incredible Hulk, and maybe some of those movies that I have watched at this time were a little bit boring, but I can say that these movies were terrible. They were just boring and maybe even not bad. In general, I liked the cinematic universe. And then I was diving deeply in each movie that came out. I started to embrace all the news that surrounds these new movies, that all the series that were hanging around Infinity Stones, third Avengers movie, Infinity War, new Endgame movie, fourth Avengers movie, and I was so much involved in these movies, in those universes, that I can surely say that I became a fan of it. I didn't read any Marvel comic book at those times, but I can surely say that I was a fan of this cinematic universe. Because when Civil War was released, I was facing it with epic action that you can't see in every blockbuster movie that came out, but more importantly, I was literally hypnotized by the plot of these movies. It was not just epic, it was something that you just can watch without any superhero love, just for its good quality movie. And also, as I already said, I was involved in every Marvel movie. And so, as new movies were coming, I watched every single one of them. I watched every trailer, every TV spot, every photo and poster. I was looking for everything that I could see about new Marvel Cinematic Universe movies, especially before Infinity War and Endgame. I even remember this moment when I firstly see the portal scene from first Avengers movie. I watched whole leaked scene just before my school, so shocked about it that I couldn't even think about anything else in subjects that I had at this day. I just thought how incredible this scene was, how epic it was. I was so much a fan of this franchise that I couldn't even believe that so many superheroes can be at the same moment, at the same screen in one movie. I think that I can even don't say to you what my reaction was when I finally watched whole Avengers Endgame movie. It instantly became my favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe movie and still remains as one. So it was 2019 when first Avengers movie were released, and then there was Spider-Man Far From Home. So with the second Spider-Man movie, whole story of 23 movies that is included in Infinity Saga were completed. So it means new story will begin. So its story begin in 2021 and will be completed also in Avengers Secret Wars, 6th Avengers movie that will come out in 2027. And I won't talk about how bad quality of Marvel's movies went down in last years, because everyone already said that. My most hated Marvel Cinematic Universe movies and projects were released in those years. It's The Marvels, Black Widow, Quantumania and Captain America 4. But there is also a good projects like Deadpool and Wolverine, third movie of James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy, Thunderbolts and The Eternals. And yeah, I know that everybody hates this movie The Eternals, but I really love it, and it is one of many my controversial opinions about MCU movies. Like even this fact that I don't really think that Spider-Man No Way Home is a masterpiece of all times. Yeah, it is really cultural big moment, if you can say it so, because 3 Spider-Man on one screen in one movie in live action, it's a really big thing. But in my opinion, they didn't even use 1/10 of potential that this movie could be in plot, in action scenes, in quality in general. And also Thor Love and Thunder is not so bad. I know that everybody hates this movie because of its stupid jokes, maybe, also because of maybe its childish plot, also because of not a very well made CGI, but I think that it also not so bad as, for instance, Black Widow, The Marvels and Quantumania. It has some interesting visuals, maybe also even CGI moments, like very stylish moments. I want to look at the future of MCU in an optimistic way. Let's see what we have in the upcoming releases. It's Spider-Man 4, already a very hyped movie because of its canon suit, very colorful visuals, very comic accurate settings of Spider-Man movie. Then we will have Avengers Doomsday, 5th big crossover event for whole MCU. And yeah, it's of course very interesting for audience because of Robert Downey Jr.'s return, and in general because of all big stars of Marvel Cinematic Universe are returns also in this movie. And also because it's a movie before a Marvel Secret Wars, movie that will be live-action adaptation of the biggest crossover event in Marvel comic book history. So 6th Avengers movie is also a little bit interesting, and not only for fans of superheroes movies. It's interesting for all action movie fans and for all people that loves big movies with big budgets, blockbusters, I think, because this movie may be one of the most expected expensive ones in history of movie making. After that, we will receive such movies as a prequel for Black Panther, X-Men MCU movie, finally, maybe Blade movie, maybe, yeah, not sure about that. Maybe fifth Spider-Man will be somewhere, totally somewhere, fourth Deadpool movie, and many others big movies will be releasing in future years. So answering for a question why I don't talk in this video about TV series, animations, it's because I don't saw MCU animation about Spider-Man, I don't saw Eyes of Wakanda, so I can't say that I watched whole MCU completely, and to judge what I think about those projects in general. I may watch them before Doomsday release, but for now I can't say that I watched whole Marvel Cinematic Universe library because I didn't watch those projects. Maybe in some future videos there will be a video about Disney Plus projects, so subscribe. So the final theme that I want to talk about is what if you don't see any Marvel movies, or you have watched maybe one or two or three of them and you thinking about maybe I should watch entire Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it's around 40 movies right now. So you may ask me, should I watch whole this bunch of movies or not, and I can do something more useful and more productive, I think, watch some other cinematic universe or watch some other movies or other cinematic universe. For now I think it's harder to embrace all the Marvel movies lore, because now Marvel Cinematic Universe are being connected with other Marvel movies that were released even before first Iron Man movie, or with other Marvel movies that were produced from another companies, as The Amazing Spider-Man, X-Men movies, Daredevil, and other bunch of movies. And so you have much more than 40 movies, and even more than 50, 60, I think even more than 70 movies that you should watch to embrace a new Avengers Secret Wars movie as a fan. But also, of course, you can watch the most important movies of the MCU and then watch Secret Wars, and you, I think, will understand mostly plot and all the action that will be in this movie. Maybe you will even catch some lore Easter eggs in this movie. And I think you need to choose watch or not to watch the whole MCU library after you have watched the most popular movies of this franchise, such as first Iron Man, I guess, maybe MCU Spider-Man movies, first Avengers, maybe Guardians of the Galaxy. And then, if you really liked these movies, you can surely say that you will have a good time watching other movies, even when they will be not so good as you would expect. But at least you can surely say that you loved this style for its characters and Marvel superhero genre in general. I will show you my top 5 of my most favorite movies of MCU for now, and whole MCU top and top for other franchises you could see in my Letterboxd, and also right there. There is now around 37 movies and 3 short specials, but I sorted them as I feel how good each movie is. And so that's it. As always, please like if you liked this video, please comment if you want to comment my English, my opinion, if you agree, if you don't agree, please leave this in text, in sentences, in comment section, please, and push notification button so I can pop in your phone when my new video releases, and so you could watch new videos as they came out and be my viewer, my subscriber, my guest, my friend. I really want you to be my friend. Please subscribe and watch my videos. Please. Yes. So have a great day, night, evening, morning, I don't know, month, year. Bye.